Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about what a social media marketer does, and we're going to cover the top in-demand skills and overall responsibilities for social media marketers and social media managers in 2020 and beyond. Before we get into the details of today's video, I want to remind you that this is actually the third video of the series that I called Career Paths in Marketing, where in the first one I introduced a full list of the top career paths in marketing today. The second one was, what does a content marketer do? And the third one, this one that we're going to cover today, is for the social media marketer. So if you want to be updated with the upcoming episodes of this series, I think it's going to be helpful if you're exploring a career path in marketing and if you're trying to learn about all the options that you have available in front of you. And you might want to consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed, and hit the notification bell to be updated whenever there's a new video on the channel. And having said that, we can now move on to the actual content of the video. At a high level, the social media marketer is the person responsible of translating the marketing goals for the social media channels and executing the strategy across the social media channels to achieve those goals. So what does this long and fancy sentence mean? It's basically how you leverage the social media channels and how you create and distribute content across social media channels, how you execute the strategy across social media channels is the responsibility of the social media marketer. Now, having said that, let's move on to the details of the responsibilities and skill sets that are required for most social media marketers today. And again, a short disclaimer here that if you are hired as a social media marketer, or if you're looking for jobs in the social media marketing space, you may not be asked to have all of these skill sets or cover all of these responsibilities on a day-to-day basis, obviously because these things are going to slightly change for different jobs, different companies, and different work structures. But overall, this is going to be a good outline that you can take as a reference when you're trying to understand if social media marketing roles are a good fit for you, or if you're trying to prepare yourself for applying to social media marketer jobs. All right, that's out of the way. The number one responsibility of a social media marketer is obviously creating and implementing a social media strategy that aligns with the brand's goals. You'll basically define what you're going to do across social media and how you're going to do it, and also identify where you're going to reach your target audience and how they're going to perceive your social media messaging. Next one is again under the strategy and brand management category, and it is to suggest and implement new strategies to develop brand awareness. So you'll be coordinating things like promotions, events. Are you going to do virtual events? Are you going to do webinars? Are you going to do in-person events once the pandemic is over? Giveaways, competitions, networking with key influencers, all of that, you will be the person who coordinates, as well as also giving feedback to the rest of the marketing team if and when you think that they should also adjust their content strategy. Next ones, we're moving to content creation. So you'll be creating, editing, and publishing content optimized for each platform, including promotional assets, short form videos, tune-in cards, and you'll be creating all of this content with the buyer's journey in mind, similar to the content marketer role that I've talked about in the previous video of this series. And also, having mentioned this, you'll be working very closely arm to arm with the content marketer and the team if there is a person for that specific role. Next one again is about content creation, and this one I feel it might sound a bit overwhelming because it does include a lot of things, but it is what it is. The modern social media marketer needs to have a lot of skills, and it does not mean that you will be the master of everything, but you will need to have a lot of these skills, and if you do, it is a very good differentiating factor when you're applying for jobs. So here we go. You'll need to have strong copywriting and copy editing skills, storytelling, photography, videography, graphic creation, editing skills, and ability to understand and match the brand voice. And when I'm talking about videography, photography, and editing and copywriting all at once, I want to underline that it doesn't mean you need to be expert in all of these, and you won't be expected to perform as a videographer because you're not the professional of that specific job. But if you have a basic understanding of video, and you definitely should if you're a social media marketer, because I mean, look at all the social media platforms. Video is the top performer content across all of these channels these days, and the newest social media channels that are kind of popping up here and there they're really almost all focused on video stories and video content. And if this is a skill that you have in your pocket, then you're good. Next one is knowledge of social media tools as well as social media management and analytics tools. So think of tools like Hootsuite, HubSpot, Sprout Social, Google Analytics, Facebook Insights, Firebase, and all of that. So obviously you'll need to know that these platforms exist, and then secondly, you need to know how to use them and how to interpret the data that you're getting from these platforms. And here I want to open a parenthesis and just make a note that if you don't know how to use all of these platforms yet, if you're a junior, if you're looking for your first ever social media marketer role, then obviously you're not going to be experienced in all of these platforms. But what I want you to know is that it's very important for you to tie in the analytics of the social media efforts that you're putting in so that you can optimize your social media strategy and the content that you're creating and distributing across social media channels, therefore performing better and moving faster towards the marketing goals. Parentheses closed. Moving to the next one, which is under the research and strategy category, it is knowledge of SEO, keyword research, hashtag research, and web traffic metrics. And that's quite clear, doesn't really need an explanation. So moving on to the next one, own the responsibility for all metrics and KPIs, therefore have analytical ability to monitor, collect, analyze, and use the social data to drive recommendations and optimizations. And this is kind of a repetition of what I just said within the parentheses a moment ago, so nothing really to expand on here either. Hey, are you enjoying the video so far? If you are, then don't forget to hit that like button for me because it tells me that you are actually enjoying watching this video. And also drop me a comment below and let me know if you have more questions. Moving on with the next few, which are under the content management category, ongoing management of content calendars for the social media platforms, where you'll be creating, planning, managing, and scheduling social posts and marketing campaigns across multiple social networks using a social media content calendar. So this is quite similar to the editorial calendar that I talk about in a previous video that I will link over here. If you're interested, you can go ahead, check that one out. You'll be owning and managing the social media calendars. Next one is owning the social media accounts and also owning the design and the layout of the social media accounts. As you know, almost all of the social platforms, they require a cover image, a thumbnail image, a short bio, the URLs, the contact information, and all of that, the tagline, and so on and so forth. So you'll be the person to design how that social media platform will look like for your brand and also to manage it on an ongoing basis. The next one is social media engagement and the community aspect of social media, which I feel is not always taken as seriously as it should. You have social media to get social with your followers. So what this means is that you not only create content and distribute content and just wait for people to see it, but you also need to be active on the social platforms to engage with your followers. Think of this as replying to the direct messages, the comments, the engagements, the likes, the questions that you get through social media. For some businesses, this means that you are also handling your customer service or customer support through social media too. So if that is the case for the business that you're working with, then that's a consideration to make. And that is a process to design and think about when you are running your social media. So if you're going to receive customer support type of messages and comments from social media channels, then you need to set the standard and the voice and the tone of messaging that you're going to use for customer support on social media channels, and also the process of how you're going to move those messages onto the customer support team. But the gist of it is that you are going to be on social not only to create and distribute, but also to engage, socialize, and respond to people. Next one is adaptability and having an audience first mindset. This one is so important, especially because of the times we live in, because on any given day, there might be a new social media platform popping here and there. It's all different across different geographies. If you're working for an international, multinational company, then you likely have audiences across the world. So you need to know the social media platforms that exist in China, India, Portugal, wherever you're working with, wherever your customers are. You need to know the platforms that are popular and trending and the usage statistics of those platforms in different geographies, because that is going to define your strategy. So number one, you need to know the emerging platforms, new technologies in the social media space. Number two, you need to understand the audience behavior, how it's changing. You need to stay updated with the trends in the social media space, as well as how the population is reacting to these changes so that you can adjust your social media strategy better. Next two that are under the communication and collaboration category are actually similar to the ones that the content marketer does. One of them is collaborating with the other social media specialists, community managers, content creators, subject matter experts within the company, within the team, to identify how you're going to create content, to do research and collect insights on how to create social media content. And the other one is to report on the campaign and content success and communicate this with the rest of the team and give them insights and give them feedback on how the social media strategy is working or not working, what needs to be improved, where do you need more help, where do you need more insights, and all of that. You need to report on the activity and also how close you are getting to the marketing goals. Next one is an interesting but important one for social media marketers, in my opinion, because it is to build your own influencer army within the company that you're working with. And whenever there's social media content out, you want to motivate them to be involved, to share, to engage with the content that you are producing for the business. So basically you want to build excitement around the social media content that you're creating and to pull them in with the promotion and distribution of that content, because we all know that's how the social media channels work these days, and that's what the algorithm favors. And essentially, who would be a better promoter of the content than the people that work within that company? Final two. Next one is budget management. It is owning and planning the entire social media budget to be spent on social media post promotions and PPC advertising. Nothing to really expand on here. You will be the budget owner for any promotions, any spending that is attached to social media. And finally, team building. If you're in a leading position, if you're in a managerial position, then you'll be hiring, training, and supporting the new staff members that are added to your team. Okay, I know that's a very long list, but if you would ask me, what are the top 3 skills that you would look in a social media marketer? What are the really core things that are very important for a social media marketer to have in 2021? I'd say it really boils down to number 1, copywriting, number 2, creating and editing visual content, that means imagery and video, and number 3, understanding the platforms, because the algorithms keep changing and changing, and it's essential that the social media marketer really understands what they're doing with the platforms and really knows how to adjust the strategy for the platform, for the algorithm, and essentially to play the right game. Now I'm pointing at you and I want to ask you this question. What is the top most important skill for a social media marketer? Let me know in the comments below. And that's a wrap for me for today. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to hit that like button for me. It means a lot. Share with your friends and network who you think will like this video just like you did. And if you're not subscribed already, consider subscribing for more marketing and career videos like this one. And as usual, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.